Hello, this is a short explanation or introductory video for Rogue Handler. Now, the book is designed to work with any D100 based modern Cthulhu Mythos game, and it's really set around games based on kind of investigations, sort of missions, sort of operations, that sort of thing. Um, so the big idea in there's really two ideas which are noteworthy in this book. The first is the way that missions are put together. Now, I'm just going to skip through the first little bit. So when you're sorry, Acrobat was then having a problem then. Right. So depending on what your plot hook is in your solo game, um, what you can do is roll a D100 and find out what piece of information you actually have to start with. And so I've rolled a 19 here, which would be just the victim. So we can skip forward to the victim table. Victim. Here we go. And I'll roll a D100 there. And, oh, hang on. Let's get a decent number. Oh, 46. So 46 is an FBI analyst. So just to start with, we only roll that piece of information. So we are, sorry, just bear with me a second. Let's see if that can. Um, let's, right, that seems to be behaving itself now. Sorry about that. So because we only know who the victim is, we have rolled for that, and we found it's an FBI analyst, and you can solo play from that point on. The book has a basic yes/no oracle, where if you know below 50 yes, above 50 is no. If you roll double, you're 11, 22, 33, it's critical yes. If you roll a double on a no, sort of 99, 00, that's a critical no. So a basic oracle. You can shift the odds for likelihood, but there's lots of tables in here for the victim, the culprit, the deed, the means, the motive. There's a method as well, and then when the kind of when you want to start introducing the unnatural side of it, whenever you find a clue, you can roll on a sliding scale to whether there's any kind of unnatural element to it, and then roll on the unnatural table here to see what the kind of unnatural influence is. So you'll that's on a sliding scale. So the first time you roll, there's a very small chance, and every time you find a new clue, the chance goes up and up and up until eventually you're guaranteed that there's going to be some unnatural influence in the investigation on the mission. So there's lots of tables in here, and there's a kind of a drama dice clock a mechanic, which is adapted from Blaze in the Dark. So as your mission, every time you go play a scene, the mission clock advances, so your time counts down to complete it, which gives you a sense of kind of tension in the game. So these are just a few more sort of thematic tables. These are sciences, because the whole kind of science and research and probing into sort of forbidden knowledge is quite a big theme in the Cthulhu mythos. So that's a random table for that. There's to add, if you rolled, say, a victim or a culprit that was in the forces. There's a deployment table. Lots of information came from places like Wikipedia, so it's kind of these are real places where US troops are stationed and can be deployed. And then there's this little bit kind of called the conspiracies bit, which now each of these, I want to say really exists, but obviously it is a conspiracy or a theory or a past operation. These you can Google them or search them on Wikipedia, and you will find more out about them, and you can pull those details into your solo games. There's also the senses and suggestions, and there's all kinds of like, if you want to, like, if you're opening a door and you want, you think, okay, what can my character hear? There's kind of some vaguely weird sounds. There's weird things to see, and there's horrible smells to give another kind of textural layer over the top. Now, yes, no oracles and pre-generated tables can answer only so much, but there's a point where there's going to be questions which can't be answered straight off a table. And what we suggest, or what this book suggests, is using your rules and your source books and settings books as a resource. And so what it suggests is that we, now, just for an example here, I've got the Call of Cthulhu, this is a 6th edition rulebook, which includes the modern Cthulhu as a setting. I've got the Delta Green Handler's Guide, which is obviously all bang up to date. I've got the Dark Streets and Darker Secrets, which is sort of a more indie take on it. And I've got Fall of Delta Green, which I recently picked up in a bundle of holding bundle. So I've got 4 different rule books I could choose here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll the d4 and pick a book, and it says 4. So we're using Fall of Delta Green. Now that got 375 pages here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll a d4 and take away 1. So on a 0, it'll be 1 to 100. On a roll of 2, it's going to be page 101 to 200, and so on. So just I could roll a d6 and just knock off 1. So I've rolled a 1, so that will be the first sort of 0 to 100. Now, although that's saying it doesn't understand that's page 90 as far as I'm concerned. So, oops. So I'm going to jump to page 90. Now, the first D6 here is a 1. The second D6 is a 4. So that's first paragraph, 4th sentence. So the first paragraph here, I'm just going to zoom in on that a little bit. So first paragraph, 4th sentence. So let's skip through. Now, what I do say, if you get a really, really complex sentence, take it into clauses. So we're just going to use the 4th clause on here. So that's 1, 2. Oh, okay, that's 1 sentence, right? So for me, I'm seeing that as let's go by clauses. 1, 2, 3, 4. The 4th clause is handler determines when this happens. And now what we do is we roll the d6s again. So 6 more paragraphs on. 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3. So I'll have that one as 4, and this one as 5, and this one as 6. So this one down here, and 3 sentences or clauses in. So we'll go 1, 2, 3. He loses the contest. So our 2 bits, our 2 sentence parts were. I've forgotten what the first one was. It was the handler determines when this happens, and he loses the contest. So I've got two little sentence parts there. The handler determines when this happens, he loses the contest. So if you were in a situation you want to ask a question which isn't a yes no question, you you take these two words, you got these two little bits, and you pick out key words. Um, and I'm trying to think off the top of my head a good kind of question that you could sort of ask. What's the example in the Rogue Handler book? Um, where's a question here? That's a yes no question. Where's the um, oh, so bear with me a second. I wonder if there is a. Okay, so the example in the book is you pull out a box from under a bed during an investigation. You open the box. You want to know what's inside the box. Now, no yes no answer is going to answer that. So this is when you go to the book. So we've rolled our page, we've rolled our paragraphs, and we've got the handler decides and loses the contest. Now, just using those few words, what is in the box? Well, the words that actually really stick out to me is that it's the thing about contests and using kind of like word association. I'm seeing that as maybe puzzles, and if we bring in the sort of the choice bit from the first part and the using the idea of puzzles, we can have say game books or crosswords, and so now I'm picturing kind of newspaper cuttings of say crosswords which are scribbled out because the person's failed to complete the crossword and has got frustrated. So I'm picturing now this shoebox is full of sort of these torn out crosswords and word puzzles which are all sort of part completed and scribbled out. And so that's it. So from using the source book as a source of random sort of short phrases or short sentences, using random book, random page, random paragraph, and random sentence or sentence part, you've got this huge amount of text that you can bring together. And because the Call of the Cthulhu is all cosmic horror, and Delta Green is cosmic horror. Fall of Delta Green is in the same subject. Dark Streets and Darker Secrets is all on topic. What you're going to have your oracles throw up bits that are really in the theme that you're trying to solo play. So that's there's no kind of tables of prompt words in this. It's going to throw you into your source books, and if you've just bought a new source book to go with your core rules, you can just add them into the mix, and you can put a bit of use that one as your primary source. So that's it really. It's completely system neutral because you are adding the system in yourself. It is all really geared up for D100s. All the tables are D100s. And it's set up for the kind of modern setting because some of the sights, sounds, and prompts and oracle tables are very, very contemporary. So that's it. That is the Rogue Handler PDF book. Now, on DriveThru, there is a companion deck of cards which goes with this. They can be the deck of cards expands on some of the oracles and has a few more bits of random data. It is not a requirement. It only makes it a little bit more kind of kinesthetic, touchy-feely, something you can practically use. Okay, but that is the Rogue Handler PDF. Thank you.